Have you ever tried to take a screen away from a toddler? One minute their eyes are locked on this device, and the next it's a complete meltdown, screaming, crying, and ultimate chaos. For babies and toddlers, screens are like an addiction, like a pacifier. Unfortunately, in this world, screens impact our everyday lives, and most people would not be able to live without them. You can't even drive your car without looking at a screen. You can't go to a restaurant that doesn't have multiple TVs on the walls. There are so many examples of the amount of technology that surrounds us every single day. For busy parents with young children, it's a simple fix for them to just hand over their phone or turn on the TV, anything to distract their child and keep them calm. However, have you ever wondered what is actually happening to a child's brain and eyes? Have you ever thought about how it could impact their growth and development? First, we'll look at what exactly blue light is. According to Healthline, blue light can come from many things, including the sun, LED lights, and screens. Many devices such as computers and phones rely on LEDs or blue light to illuminate. Due to the amount of technology in our everyday lives, humans are being exposed to more blue light now than ever. How does this actually affect our eyes? Many of us know there are many layers to our eyes. The cornea acts as a filter and protects our retinas. The cornea only protects against UV rays and is not equipped to block out blue light. This is a big research point because so many people use blue light in such close range. However, because blue light technology is so new, there are no long-term studies done on how blue light affects eyesight long-term. However, there are effects on the human sleep-wake cycle. A study took place in 2015 that determined when humans are exposed to large amounts of blue light at night, their bodies release less melatonin, which delays and disrupts the sleep cycle. Now we'll look at what happens between the newborn stage and around 2 years old, based on the UCI School of Medicine, the CDC, and Dr. Brennan. Do you ever wonder why in the United States people cannot consume alcohol until they reach the age of 21? This is because from the newborn stage until a person is 21, their brain is still developing. You might think comparing TV for babies to alcohol for underage teenagers is a bit extreme. However, both harmfully impact developing brains. From the time a baby is born until the day they are fully grown adults, they never stop developing. However, the most important developmental stages happen between the day they are born and around 2 years old. There are certain points in development where a baby is expected to be able to do certain things, such as crawl or walk. However, there are many things that can interfere with their development and cause delays in reaching milestones. Each baby follows their own timeline. However, it is considered a developmental delay when the child is continuously behind in multiple skills that are expected by a certain age. Next, we'll look at types of delays. There's things like cognitive and thinking delays, social and emotional delays, speech delays, and fine and gross motor skill delays. Parents worry when their children develop a delay. However, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention, every 1 in 6 children has a developmental delay, and they can overcome it with proper therapy. Now we'll look at how exactly TV impacts all of this and why it's bad. According to Dr. Cross and Dr. Hill at UNC Medical School, 99% of children under the age of 1 have already watched TV or used some other source of technology. When babies look at screens, they are intrigued by the bright colors and movement. However, they can't understand anything. It just catches their attention. It takes around 18 months for a baby's brain to develop enough where symbols on a screen are equivalent to something in the real world. Infants and toddlers learn best when they interact with the people around them. They need to touch things, shake them, throw them, and hear them. Sure, apps can teach toddlers how to swipe or tap on a screen, but how does this translate into real-world learning? So if babies don't get anything out of TV or game apps, why is it harmful for them to watch? There's a lot of evidence that tells us that screen viewing before 18 months old can cause delays in speech, reading skills, and short-term memory. It can also affect sleep and attention span. Children are programmed to learn from the people around them and their interactions, facial expression, tone of voice, and body language. They all contribute to how children learn from their surroundings. Once toddlers hit the age of 2, things can change, and they start to learn things from educational TV. However, TV time should be limited to only 1 hour per day from age 18 months until the age of 5. And always remember, TV is the same whether it's actually on a TV or an iPad or a phone. Regardless of content cap, your child's electronic entertainment time at 1 hour a day from 18 months to 5. How can you limit screen time and make it more manageable? It can be extremely hard not to give your child your phone to make them stop screaming, but they need to learn to face problems head-on and find their own solutions to develop their brains. Screens are not all evil. They can be an extremely helpful tool, but timing, content, and moderation matter. Next time your child asks for a screen, ask yourself, Would I trade my child's first words, their wonder, and their curiosity for a few minutes of silence? Screens may light up their eyes and shut their mouths, but are they dimming their futures?